He can travel through time, absorb anyone's energy, and he's fearless when it comes to fashion.
I want y'all to fake it until you make it.
That's not the Bishop I was thinking of, it's actually this guy.
Let's go!
Hey guys, I'm Ryan Eric P on Twitter. Hit me up with any comments, but please be nice. And also, before I tell you what his face tattoo means, do me a favor and hit subscribe because there are plenty more comic book deep dives. Also, the American Gods season finale is almost here and Buddy and Chastity are extremely excited to share their thoughts on the episode. Plus, GameSpot of Thrones is right around the corner. When it comes to time-traveling mutants such as Bishop, storylines often get complicated. Let's pick it up in the dark future when Barnum and Katie Bishop give birth to their son, Lucas. No relation. This is a future in which all mutants and humans are policed by robot sentinels. This is commonly known as the Days of Future Past reality. And guess what? It really sucked. While trying to flee to America, the Bishop family is captured by Sentinels and thrown into a mutant internment camp. They're all given matching M tattoos over their eyes to signify their status as mutant outcasts. Even his little baby sister Shard. After their parents were killed in a mutant uprising during the Summers Rebellion, Lucas and Shard escape and find a home with their grandmother. After some run-ins with the law and some gangs, the Bishop siblings are eventually picked up by the mutant police, also known as Xavier's security enforcers, and they're recruited to join the XSE. Lucas agrees, but only if he and his sister can both train to become enforcers. One of Bishop's greatest rivals in the comics is Trevor Fitzroy, a former XSE officer. In one storyline, Fitzroy ambushed the Bishops, leaving them for dead in an M-Plates nest. M-Plates were these mutant vampires who fed on bone marrow with cute little mouths on their hands. Seriously, they sound horrifying. During the fight, Shard is attacked by one of the vampires and critically injured. Lucas takes her to a mutant called the Witness, also known as LeBeau, as in Remy LeBeau, as in Gambit. With the Witness's help, he's able to copy her essence into a hologram, but obviously that's not the same as having your sister right beside you. Oh, and he stores her in the hologram projector on his wrist. Still, not the same as a real sister.
Cyclops, that mob is attacking Bishop.
Bishop? What's that time jockey doing back?
Bishop's relationship with the X-Men is, believe it or not, complex. When he was growing up, he would hear stories from his grandmother about the noble X-Men who believed humans and mutants could coexist. She encouraged Lucas to emulate the superhero team when he became a member of the XSE. Years later, Bishop would come face to face with the legendary group. See, he had to travel back in time in order to capture Fitzroy, and he ended up in the timeline of his heroes, the X-Men. And he didn't believe they were really the X-Men. So at first they were adversaries, standing in his way of his mission.
And the X-Men are going to die.
But soon they became allies in order to stop Fitzroy. Oh, and another detail I need to mention. These time-traveling portals were a one-way flight. So Bishop had nothing else better to do, so why not join the X-Men? Wait a second. They have the technology to travel through time, but no one figured out how to book a round-trip flight? Seriously? A quick heads up, if you're looking for much more awesome moments from Bishop's comic book career, check out the video I did a few months back on Legion. One storyline involved Professor X's son Legion and the Age of Apocalypse that he created. And it's ridiculous. Let's talk about Bishop's powers and abilities. You're obviously aware that Bishop can time travel, but he has another pretty awesome power. The ability to absorb almost any energy used against him and put it to his own uses. So if you shoot at him, guess what? It's not gonna hurt him, he's just gonna shoot you right back. He can also store the absorbed energy and use it at a later time to increase his strength and recuperative abilities. But his greatest power might be this: he knows his location at all times, like the exact hour, minute, and date, which comes in handy when you're traveling back and forth between the past and the future. You'll also almost always catch Bishop with some sort of gun in his hand. Remember, he's a mutant police officer with years of armed and unarmed combat training. He's clinical with basically any type of firearm. As I mentioned earlier, Bishop spent quite a lot of time with the Witness, aka Gambit. In fact, in one storyline he was actually raised by him. But he may also have been influenced by another member of the X-Men at a much earlier age, as in his grandmother. Many fans have speculated that she is none other than an elderly Storm, recalling her memories of the X-Men to her grandchildren. Although this was never confirmed in the comics, it might make sense. We don't know why, but she was forced to hide her true identity, and was no longer able to use her mutant powers. She also mentioned that she had known the legendary X-Men on a personal basis. So maybe that means she was an X-Men. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Do me a favor and hit subscribe right over here. And also let me know which comic book character we should dive into next. Should we cover Cyborg from the upcoming Justice League, the Shocker who will play a role in Spider-Man Homecoming, or Jeff Goldblum's Grandmaster who we got a glimpse of in that Thor Ragnarok trailer? Let us know in the comments below.